Hi, I'm Jack D'Angelo,
And I'm just Mevanek.
and this is the Motown Breakdown. So, Dries, we'll talk about the Lions first. We can talk about playoff stuff next time, but let's just focus on this big Vikings win. We clinched the division and the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about that?
I thought it was a great win. Like, at first, like coming into the game, I'm like, okay, our offense has to be there. I know our defense might not be there. Our defense kind of kept us in that game, especially in that first half.
Yeah.
Before our offense, Jahmyr Gibbs, came alive. Because also you could talk about the play calling, but, I mean, you know, those red zone drives could have been touchdowns, and then we made them make a decision, say, go for it on 4th down or kick a field goal. They went for it, and we stopped them. So I was really happy about the way our defense played, and I really think it had to do something with Anzalone just being
weirdly
there.
enough, I think, like, Aaron Glenn is a good, like, coach. I think he's a good coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, it's hard to say, like, how good he really is because he hasn't had much to work with. Now, what I will say is, like, I think the dream team would be how Ben Johnson was working last year. I might have said this before, but how Ben Johnson was working last year and how Aaron Glenn is working this year. It's like Aaron Glenn, when he has Anzalone on the field for some reason, like, they're pretty much only field goals. And I love that. Like, it's just – and to shut it out, like, I don't think Reichard was a good kicker. Like, I knew that he wasn't going to be, like, a promising guy, but, like, you know, to even not have it come down to that last missed field goal, it's like, that was nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I watched him in college. He was a good kicker.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like they were in a position where it's like, okay, this is a 49-yard field goal. Should we kick it, or should we go for this 4th and 2? It was like, you know, a kicker where, you know, many kickers make it easily.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I really think, like you said, Anzalone just being there just has an impact, you know, holding them to field goals, no touchdowns. And, I mean, talk about stepping up. Amik Robinson, like, you give him, you say to him, like, that week, you are guarding one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And, you know, we're going to play a lot of man-to-man. You have to, you know, be on his hip the entire time like glue. You know, he stepped up to the challenge and he conquered it.
No, I mean, it was nice because, I mean, he played with him in high school. He played with them in Louisiana Tech versus, you know, LSU.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I think that was like a hidden weapon that we had because he knows him.
Yes.
Like, he knows how to, like, what he does. And, you know, one thing that, you know, we can talk about are all the stuff that, you know, the Vikings did wrong and all the missed. I feel like there were a lot of, like, we can talk about flags and stuff like that. But Sam Darnold really wasn't on his, like, best game today or yesterday. And, like, it really had an impact. And one thing I noticed was when Amik Robertson was guarding Justin Jefferson, like, there was a time when he just, like, stopped and Justin Jefferson was, like, wide open. And I mean, I was happy because there were a couple of times that I don't think, like, we can talk about Sam Darnold all the time, but, like, there were 2 things that I found, like, I think he missed Justin Jefferson twice because, one, he was literally standing in the end zone and with his hands, like, just right there, and a guy on his back. It's like, nobody's defending that. Like, it's Justin Jefferson. And then, of course, like, he keeps overthrowing these guys. And so I think that was a big, like, role in why they lost so bad.
Yeah, I think, you know, but playing man-to-man allows us to blitz, you know, 6 guys, something like that. So we had pressure in his face.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that was kind of one of the things we would, you know, that's been talked about since Hutchinson's gone down. Where's the pressure? How the Lions going to do this without Hutchinson? I think we kind of proved it. You know, they were doing a lot of linebacker blitzes, you know, and then Zadarius Smith came off with a big sack.
Yeah, that was big. I love that.
But yeah, you're completely correct. Darnold was not on his game. I mean, because Justin Jefferson hit Amik Robertson with the double move. Robertson bit. He was wide open in the end zone. And I mean, he's got to make that throw. And, but yeah, I think the Lions really held him. And then on the flip side, the offense, they knew that the Vikings were going to blitz a lot because that's just what they do. That's just how their defense is. And, you know, we stood up to the challenge. You know, Goff really didn't get sacked that much, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. You could talk about the, you know, safety or...
Yeah.
I think there were a couple times that it got thrown away. And, you know, it was... I don't know how I would think about that. But one person I do want to talk about, and I want to give credit to Vikings fans, is Van Ginkel.
Oh,
He was amazing, and he scares
phenomenal.
me. But I think one thing that really stood out to me was like that dropped interception that could have definitely been taken back for a pick six. Like that
Yeah.
certainly I think would have changed the entire landscape of the game, and it might have either resulted in a win for the Vikings or just a much closer game.
Yeah, I mean, Goff just, didn't have the game he hoped for in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I think he played well enough where he was not. It was not like the Texans game.
Yeah, no,
It was not. And also, I think in other games, Goff kind of felt like he had to be on his A game because the defense was depleted and they weren't playing their A game. But this defense was playing their A game, so I think Goff kind of felt like he could take more chances. Like that big shot when he was in the end zone, we just get a big turnover and, he throws it and, it was intercepted. I don't think he would have taken that shot if it was a much closer game.
Yeah. I do want to commend, and you were talking about this earlier, but I do want to commend our new guys like Muhammad. Like he's really stepping up. He's going to be amazing. And Taron Arnold, I think we got a little bit lucky here. He's just a perfect player, but he needs to learn how to look at the ball. Because I think what we got lucky here was that his type of play where he just like chases guys down and like gets in their face, like that works sometimes. But his pursuit is amazing. But
they don't, I mean, and, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't call that in high school. They don't call that in college, right? They allow you to be more physical. In the NFL, they're going to call that. So I think, whatever happens, Super Bowl win, whatever. I think this offseason, I think, hopefully Aaron Glenn stays. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think that'd be a big thing.
But, whatever happens, whoever's going to be the defensive coordinator needs to just come in and kind of teach Arnold. It's like, okay, this is what you can do. Because just let him play his game. Hopefully it doesn't cost us. So moving on, the Pistons have really turned it up.
I mean, I think we can even like talk about the Red Wings and the Pistons at the same time because it seems like they're kind of in the same, boat. Because what happens is, over break, the Red Wings fire their head coach, Derek Lalonde.
Yeah.
And like that they go on a 4-game winning streak after that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They're 17, 18, and 4 right now. They're number 27 in the power rankings. So, and for the Pistons, last time we did this, 11 and 16, and now they're 17 and 18.
Yeah, they have just found both teams have found a new stride.
Yeah, and it's nice because the Pistons, it could have been a little bit better. They go on a 3-game win streak and then they have a loss, but then immediately after that they go on another 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
So, you can talk about both these teams. Like, I think you might be able to say that the Pistons are doing a little bit better than the Red Wings because, like, we've talked about this before. The Red Wings are kind of, for hockey standards, I don't know if they're doing as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see this. It's nice to see, like, our teams actually doing well and going on streaks. So.
Yeah, and when you actually take a look at the standings, so the Pistons are in, like, the play-in things, kind of like a wild card thing.
Yeah.
And then the Red Wings, I know they're at the bottom end, but they're only a few points out from that bottom. Like, every team is so condensed where 2 wins, 3 wins gets you to the top, and then 2, 3 losses, puts you kind of to the bottom. So, everything's so condensed. So I think the standings don't tell the whole picture. And, like, the Red Wings are actually playing very well. I think they're playing very well. They've turned it up late December, early January, and they just got to keep on going. So, and the Pistons as well. Unfortunately, Jaden Ivey did, suffer. It kind of was the same injury that Hutchinson had. Yeah. I think they're hoping he can. I think they're hoping it's not as serious as what Hutchinson's were, and he can come back by the end of the season. But, I don't think he'll be back. That's me. I watched the replay. It did not look like a pretty, something that a broken ankle, you'll be back in 4-6 weeks. No, it looks like he was done.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the horrible thing. We can go talk about everything, but injuries are just it sucks this year, and to be able to see it going on in a completely different sport, it's like where like you get a little bit of like PTSD with it. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
feel that like, oh my God, is this happening again? Like it's just it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch.
Correct. I mean, everybody, when you play sports, you sign up for the risk of, you might get injured. You just signed up to, like, there's a high probability of you getting injured, right, than not doing anything, you didn't have to play the sport, but you signed up for this and, there's a high risk of injuries. And, we've seen that throughout, sports. Cade Cunningham got injured last year. Ivy's injured this year.
Yeah.
There's a few injuries to the Tigers this past year with their pitching. So we had to step up. And obviously the Lions, with all their injuries. But, it's the great teams like the Tigers and the Lions and hopefully the Pistons know what to do, and they come back from that, and they come back stronger.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mean to keep going back to the Lions, but, when we saw the Vikings game, like Jared Goff took a huge hit. And the announcers kind of made like a witty comment. They're like, that's why you get paid the big bucks. It's like you're putting your body on the line for this, and you're going to put yourself in situations that are extremely dangerous. But, all in all, I think Detroit is just as a whole, in terms of just the city and in terms of sports, like it's going up, and it's really like there's a new culture around here.
Oh yeah, definitely. It started with Dan Campbell, and now I think guys like AJ Hinch, Steve Eisenman, those guys, JB, like they're coming in with this different mentality than previous guys had, and it works.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk about one thing. The Tigers, really haven't not done much since Alex Cobb. They just, though, signed Gleyber Torres, right? Second baseman, 1 year, $15 million deal. I like it. And what it does is it pushes Colt Keith to first base, which pushes Torkelson kind of out of the picture. So, I don't want to throw this around because I think it's too early. People are starting to think, is he a bust? And, I just kind of want to get your opinion on that. He had a down year where he was going back to the minors, but I just kind of want to get your opinion on that.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I know him, and I'm not really like a big baseball guy, but like I recognize the name.
Yeah.
And that's big, like for me, because I mean, I watch baseball on and off, but I think that I was excited when I saw it. Like I was excited with it, but
I mean, it's also like it's business. You gotta, you want what's good for your team, your fan base, your city, and you sign the best players, and it unfortunately sometimes affects fan favorites. So, like, I'm gonna go back to the Lions. We traded for Zadarius Smith. Does that mean that Marcus Davenport, who a few fans were excited for this season, is he now, who signed a 1 year deal, is he pushed out of the picture? So
yeah, I mean, it's just it's like you said, it's a business. So you gotta do what's best, and that's gonna anger some people, and especially you think about Matt Stafford, like the Matt Stafford trade. It's like when he went away, it was a mutual agreement that he was gonna leave.
Yes,
but at the same time, it's like people are angry.
Yeah,
it's like, why would you let that go? We have a franchise quarterback. He's amazing.
Build around
and especially
him.
After he goes on to win a Super Bowl with another team, it's like you seriously let that go. And they sent Jared Goff to Detroit to die. So it's like, what do you think about all this like stuff? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, and one more thing before we leave is, I thought that both teams won that trade. The Rams got their Super Bowl, and they've been in the playoffs 3 of the past 4 years. I know they had that down year after the Super Bowl, but they've been in the playoffs. So they've done what they've hoped for. They just won their division. And the Lions, I know we didn't have the 2021 we wanted, or the 2022 it came back, but like last year, we made a good run. And this year now we're Super Bowl favorite. I think both teams got what they wanted out of that trade, and now I'm very excited for this playoff run.
Yeah,
I am.
I think this is a beautiful transition to the next episode, because this will be certainly talking about the playoffs.
Yep.
Because the Lions have their bye now. So
players got to get rested up.
Yeah. All right. Well, that has been the Motown Breakdown. Thank you.
Thank you.